This is Greg Trauthwein. I'm the editor and associate publisher of Maritime Reporter and Engineering News. We're here at the SMM 2016 with Matthew Bignell from Wärtsilä. Matthew, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for welcoming me on to see you today. My name is Matthew Bignell, and I'm from Wärtsilä Seals Bearings, and I've been the primary project manager for the introduction of Wärtsilä's Seamaster tail shaft condition monitoring systems.
Excellent. Matthew, we understand that recently, or actually today, you've introduced to the market the Seamaster, which is a condition-based monitoring system for seals and bearings. Can you just tell us a little bit about the system?
Yeah, certainly. Traditionally, we've always been oil lubricated stern tubes. Seamaster gives benefit not only to traditional oil lubricated stern tubes, but also water lubricated stern tubes, which is the direction the market is taking. Wärtsilä's approach has been to embrace technology and allow that technology to filter down to customers in their fleets. And we're doing this right across our organisation. With the Seamaster, what we're primarily doing is looking at the condition of the tail shaft. For a very long time, it's had no focus, so we put primary focus onto this area.
Just so I understand correctly, now you say the industry is going more towards the water lubricated bearing. And if you could, this is a little bit off of what we were going to talk about, but why is that, do you see?
There's a number of drivers, and two of them are, firstly, environmental. That's the most widely talked about subject, and it reaches right across the industry, not just in tail shafts. With the water lubricator system, there's no requirements to carry oils. We're using the medium, the seawater around that vessel wherever they are in the globe. So that risk is instantly removed of contamination of oil from the ship. And secondly is class size societies. They've changed their approach, and they're now active in supporting the use or the widespread use of water lubricated systems, and they're adjusting their regulations accordingly.
Excellent. So can you discuss a bit how your approach in developing this system, how the Seamaster system is different from what's on the market today?
Yeah, Wärtsilä's approach has been more holistically. What we see in the market today is there's been lots of focus on individual components within the tail shaft, and that could have been looking at bearings or looking at seals or looking at propeller speed, vibration, shaft vibration, etc. So what we've done, we've stepped back from that and we've looked at the system, and we've looked at the journey the lubricant takes through the system and the critical path components. So we look at the whole system. So as the seawater enters the vessel, its temperature, its flow, its pressure is tracked. That when it enters the critical area of the forward seal into the stern tube, we've got critical sensors that we look at there that we can export to the bridge or record appropriately. We've tied that in with looking at bearing temperature, flush rates, and also tracking and monitoring wear down using an industry first type approved electronic wear down sensor that looks at the distance of the shaft every time the shaft comes to rest. So we've got real-time tracking and data that we can share on board, and then we can capture that data over a long period of time, and we can build up trending maps using modern analytics and provide long-term data to really help with maintenance and predictive maintenance in the long term, and look at wear rates and how vessels are being operated. And are crews doing what they're meant to be doing on board? Are they following their routines, for example?
Matthew, just one final question, because actually you hit on a couple of things. Big data has been pretty much every discussion that I've had here at the SMM. Can you just put in perspective ship owners? We talk about it a lot in our pages and our videos, but how rapidly, put in perspective for us, how rapidly ship owners are adopting these types of solutions so that they can better manage the assets on board the ship?
Yeah, I think to put that into context is the industry has always been very conservative. But what we've seen, and in our daily lives, we're surrounded by data in everything that we do, and we have access to all the while. So what we're now seeing is the fact that OEMs like Wärtsilä can offer the solutions in a digital format. The demand is there, and people accept it. It's not that big step change to what it was 10 years ago, for example. And everybody realises by utilising the technology, they can have their finger on the button, looking at the data real time or historically. And I think that's the expectation that's coming down. We will be driven harder by our clients over the way that data is handled, presented, the accessibility of that data either through apps or clouds, etc., and that will drive the industry forward. I think it's changing the way that we see data in our daily lives, and that will filter down into the industry, and it certainly is doing.
Well, thank you very much for taking your time. It's a busy show. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Have a very good day. Thank you.